Welcome back, Deep Divers. We love to grapple with intriguing questions here, and this one comes straight from the wrestling ring. You've provided a fascinating YouTube analysis of the Wyatt wrestling family,
Indeed.
specifically looking at how Bray Wyatt's legacy is being handled after his passing. Let's tag team this, shall we?
Indeed. Wrestling often blends storylines with real life in a complex way. This topic raises questions about legacy, creative ownership, and even corporate responsibility in entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. The YouTuber kicks off with the assertion that he wasn't the biggest Bray Wyatt fan, finding his character work a tad too convoluted.
Interesting.
He much preferred the Fiend persona, but emphasizes that Bray was, by all accounts, a great guy. The YouTuber's central question revolves around whether WWE and even Bray's brother are capitalizing on his legacy without adding anything new. He acknowledges it's tricky territory, especially with a grieving family member involved.
It's important to acknowledge the sensitivity around this topic right off the bat. Grief and creative expression can be deeply intertwined. The YouTuber's discomfort with the situation is palpable, even as he tries to analyze it objectively.
Absolutely, and there's a cynicism, though, about how corporations operate. The YouTuber seems resigned to the idea that they'll bleed a storyline dry for profit. He even uses the word bleed, which feels very intentional given the wrestling context.
Yeah, it's a common critique of entertainment industries. The pressure to capitalize on what's popular, sometimes at the expense of artistic integrity. This ties into fan anxieties about cheapening a beloved figure's legacy.
Right, and it's like, you have this really awful thing happen, and then it almost immediately becomes a commodity.
Right.
Now, things get really interesting when the YouTuber talks about Bray's brother stepping into this world.
Okay.
He seems to want to give the brother the benefit of the doubt, believing his intentions are good. But he also suggests there's a missed opportunity for the brother to forge his own path instead of just echoing what Bray did.
This speaks to the concept of artistic inheritance. How do you honor a predecessor while also establishing your own voice?
Right.
It's a tightrope walk, especially in a genre like pro wrestling, which is so character-driven.
Absolutely. And you see this in music, right?
Mhm.
If you're the son of a famous musician and you go into the music industry, I mean, how do you escape that?
It's a great point.
So what does it all mean? Is WWE simply following a predictable playbook? Or is there a deeper layer of tribute here that we're missing? And what about the brother? Is he destined to always be in Bray's shadow? Or can he break free and become a legend in his own right?
That's the wrestling match unfolding before our very eyes. This deep dive reminds us that entertainment, while designed to entertain, often reflects complex human emotions and dilemmas. Perhaps the real question is, what do WE as consumers want from these stories of legacy and loss?
I think that's what we're left grappling with, right? Where is that line?
Absolutely.
What feels appropriate? What feels exploitative?
Right.
It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
I think the other question that this brings up, though, is the idea of persona versus the actual person, right? Because so much of wrestling is about persona. And we see with Bray Wyatt this very over-the-top, sometimes disturbing persona.
Yeah.
But by all accounts, he was a lovely man.
Right. A lot of people in the industry really, really spoke highly of him.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's like, how much of that do we carry with us? How much of that factors in, I guess, to how we feel about this, whether this is all a bit exploitative?
Right. And how much of that are we supposed to know, right? As consumers, how much are we meant to know about the actual person behind the character? And does that then color how we view what's happening in the ring?
Yeah, it's tricky, right? And I don't know that there are any easy answers, but I think, this idea of corporate responsibility, it always seems to rear its head in these conversations.
Right, because we've seen this in other industries as well. And it does leave you feeling like these tributes can sometimes feel a bit hollow if they're immediately followed by a marketing opportunity.
Right. I think we've all felt that, haven't we? Where it's
Yeah.
like, how sincere are you being here?
Absolutely.
And I think that's the thing, with the WWE, I think they walk that line so well a lot of
Yeah.
the time, right?
Mhm.
Where it's like, you do feel genuinely moved, and I think that's why wrestling fans get so passionate, so invested, because it does feel so personal and so real a lot of the time.
It does, and it's live, and there's that element of, are we seeing something real? We're seeing a work, as they call it.
Exactly.
And I think that's part of the magic of it.
It keeps us all guessing. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Fascinating discussion.
As always, thank you for providing such a fascinating lens through which to view this. But now, deep divers, it's over to you. What do you think? How do we balance honoring a legacy with the realities of the entertainment industry? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, deep divers.